Videos about protecting your peace. So my father, he has his his family member calling him on the phone, crying and begging, man, please let me stay with you. I need a place to stay. I'm out on my own. I have nowhere to stay. She's staying with her daughter. It's her oldest son. Is her son and her daughter, and they both got jobs. I'm like, four plus four ain't equaling to eight. Something ain't math, and in my head, something ain't right. They should all be paying. I'm suspecting. Like, I don't know. Maybe my cousin just snapped. She just flipped. I don't know. I'm already knowing, like, this is a family member that you can't go to KFC without them, and the KFC is 2 minutes away from my crib. You can't go to KFC without them getting into it. You like, man. Every time we come around, it's some fights. I remember, my grandfather passed away, and we had this fish fry, and we thinking everything gonna be cool. Granddaddy just died, a couple weeks ago or last week or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's real recent, so everybody's emotional. We thinking like everything gonna be cool. Everybody gonna be on their best behavior. They get the fighting in the kitchen. You know, my cousin like my baby can't get no food. Smack, smack, fish flying everywhere. My sisters had to grab her baby, had to calm her down. They fighting. They get to fighting all in the living room. My grandmother, she's in a at the time, God rest her soul, she's in a wheelchair. You know, both her legs cut off. And she's trying to break up this fight. Like, why is grandma trying to break up this fight? Grandma can't walk. You know what I'm saying? No, nonetheless, you know what I'm saying. Back to what I was saying. Every time we get around this person, there's some drama. Man, they get to stand with us. My dad, like, man, what would Jesus do? I'm like, what would Jesus do? You know, I'm thinking like, they ain't never helped you with anything. We'd have been down bad before in my family. Never got any help, no assistance. I don't talk to you for years. You don't even have my phone number. You know what I mean? You don't have my contact information. You had to get it from somebody else. You know, you don't reach out to me. You don't reach out to my kids. You don't see how we doing. We in our own peaceful world though. So I'm like, this is kind of messing up our peace. He like, man, that's my sister. I got to do it. All right, cool. So they get to stand here. They pull up with some groceries, and my cousin's like, I'm not helping my mom. I'm not helping my mother get the groceries out the car. I'm like, that's why you ain't helping your mama. She barely could walk. Every time she walks, she tipping over. It's crazy. Your mother is disabled. You know what I mean? She can't help herself the way she want to. You know what I mean? So I'm like, bro, you treating your mom like this. This ain't cool. Mind you, this is my cousin that used to bully me. Chase me around Kane Park. My older cousin Scooter had to come in and save me. You know what I mean? We was 4 or 5 years old. He was a menace. You know. So I'm like, man, I'm already not rocking with him. My auntie, none of his kids. They all crazy. My one cousin, his brother, he strangled his dog when he was 7 and killed him. It's crazy. I'm like, man, they nuts. My whole family is crazy. But my dad's like, that's my family. I got to do what I got to do. That's my flesh and blood. I'm like, I don't know about that. So I'm already seeing strike one. You're not helping your mama out. Then the groceries they brought here, they're not paying no money for none of the for staying here. They're not putting in on nothing. Man, they get to staying here, and she bought nothing but Jello, some eggs, and some milk. So I'm like, what the hell is this? We don't eat Jello. You ain't buy no ground beef, no nothing. Some weird shit. I'm like, strike one. Strike two is, man, we get here. I'm noticing all these damn like fruit flies or whatever, like flies crawling, coming everywhere, all on the couches, all in the bathroom, all in the kitchen. I'm talking about I'm going to the bathroom. We got to put down the sticky little insect things, to grab the flies, the little fly sticky trap things. The shit getting all on my arm, the stuff getting all on my arm. Excuse my language, it's getting all on my arms. I can't watch TV because it's all over. It's by the TV. It's by the TV. I hit the stand. The stand is sticky. It's getting to my arm. I'm like, what the hell is this? I ain't never dealt with some dirty stuff like this. So I'm like, bro, they dirty as hell, you know. I'm like, man, this is they unsanitary. I'm like, this is strike two. Where all these flies come from? Man, my cousin's like, you know what? Since I'm staying with you and Unc, I could pick you up from work. I'm like, cool. This, I need a ride. I'm on the bus. I'm on the bus at the time. He's like, man, yeah, it'd be my courtesy for staying here. Man, this brother was an hour late every time, y'all. An hour late every time. I'm like, damn, bro, like you, come on, man. Then you pulling up playing ratchet music. My boss looking at me crazy, like, who the hell is this? This your family? I'm like, man, who? Huh? Trying to. I don't know who that is, but that ain't my family. You know what I'm saying? Playing that ratchet music. I don't know. He's causing a disturbance. All my coworkers, I worked with nothing but old ladies at the time. 70s, 60s, church going women. I'm talking about cook for the church. You know what I'm saying? They like, what the hell is this ratchet music playing in the parking lot? I'm like, man, this dude called, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere we go, they causing some type of problems because we have these, when you park in the garage or park in the back, you might be in somebody's parking spot. He getting into it with other tenants where we staying at. I'm like, man, me and my father been here for years. It's been peaceful. No, no drama. No fights, no squabbles, no getting into it with anybody. No rodents, no flies, no no roaches or nothing, man. I'm like, it's a clean house. What's going on? They came here, everything flips. So they already not paying nothing. They not buying too many groceries. And my cousin is causing a disturbance. You know, in the parking lot of my work spot, all my coworkers looking at like who's playing this loud music. I'm like, man, this is a bad sign. We gotta let them go, find a place to stay. You know what I mean? We thinking like my cousin flipped out on him and just kicked him out. Put her blick out. Bow. She ain't shoot nobody, but she put her blick out on him. Like, man, y'all got to get the hell up out of here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Man. So this was the last straw. My older cousin, which is her other son, he bring over some food. Like, man, here's some food for all of y'all or whatever, right? She said, my auntie's like, you know, let me count the food. My dad like, count the food. The hell are you talking about? He like, I'm just looking at the food. He look at the food. He like, man, all right, I'm gonna just put it in the refrigerator. We'll eat it later. She tweaking. She tripping. Mind you, I'm a real chef of I'm a real sharing person. So I'm like, all right, I'll let you have my banana pudding just off me. I don't want it, and I'm gonna give it to you. If I got it, I'll give it to you. And if you want, my banana pudding, I'm a person like if I got it and you need it, I'm a caring person. I'll give it to you. It's no sweat off my back. So I'm like, hey, you can have my banana pudding. It's cool. I'm sharing with her. Mind you, this auntie ain't never bought me nothing. Not even you don't gotta buy me nothing, but you could call me. You could check up on me. You could check up on me. Me and my older sisters. My father, her own brother, her own flesh and blood. She don't check up on them, give them money, nothing. I'm saying me and my family been damn near homeless at certain times, having to find a place to stay. In crunch time, we always did. Thank you to the Almighty Lord, to the man up above, God. You know what I'm saying? Prayer and strength, we made it through. We always found a place to stay, you know? So we didn't need family. But, a call would be cool, a call, or either a text like, hey, how you doing? It's like my father didn't exist to them. You know what I mean? Like he didn't exist. They treat him like he's an outcast of the family. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Your own flesh and blood, grew up in the same house every day. Had her back when she got into situations. So I'm like, you can help them, but don't let them use you. Don't let nobody screw you over, and protect your peace. If something's not protecting your peace, then it got to go, no matter what or who it is. So I'm already knowing that in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, this ain't right. So the food situation, my dad put it back in the, put it back in the refrigerator. You know, like man, we'll get it later. I eat some noodles, you know, some ramen noodles that's been there for like about 2 days, 2 days, or let's say a week, let's say give or take a week. Nobody's touching these noodles at all. It's a whole bunch of noodles. Nobody's touching these noodles. She get to flipping out on me on noodles. Who ate my noodles? I'm like, hey, hey, auntie so and so. You know, I ain't gonna put her name out there, but hey, you know, these been here for about a week. You ain't touched them. You be eating all this other stuff. You're not paying nothing. You know, I'm buying Burger King. I'm buying Burger King for the house. You know, when normally I buy for two, it'd be simpler, but I'm buying for everybody. I'm trying to be nice. You know, word family. You know, what would Jesus do? Man, she like, you know, she crazy. So she like, you know what? They're my noodles. You ain't supposed to be eating my noodles. Whoa. You're not paying nothing. Y'all barely buying nothing. Y'all bringing flies and whatever else in here. It's musty. It stink. You know, you tripping on me about some 50-cent noodles? You crazy? So I'm like, man, this ain't going too well. I'm knowing this ain't right. Something ain't right. They got to get out. You know, so my dad was like, you know, that's my family. They gonna leave soon. Blah blah blah. Later that night, mind you, my cousin is talking to his mama crazy. Shut the f up, f you. You know, I can't wait to leave you. I can't wait to get away from you. Shut the f up. Talking to his mama, the mother that birthed him. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Even if my mama heard me talking to my daddy like that, you know, she's no longer with us. But I know she would have came down from heaven and slapped the, you know, taste out my mouth. You know what I mean? My parents, you know, my mama didn't play that. I got a whooping every morning for throwing temper tantrums, not wanting to go to school. You know what I mean? Acting out, trying to be a brat. You know, my mama wasn't playing that. I miss her to death. I love you. You know, God rest your soul. You know, and I'm like, you know, this is family. Back to the story. This is family. You know, back to the story. This is family. I'm trying to be patient with them, but I'm knowing like, man, something ain't right with this situation. You know, 4 plus 4 ain't equaling to 8. It ain't mathing. Later in the night, they get to arguing. You know, my father, he get to, we go to the kitchen. We like, man, we going you know, I'm home. We both hungry. We gonna put some meat. You know, some barbecue meat on a plate. Put it in the refrigerator. You know, she like, so we try to go back to get the food. She like, you know what? Let me count the food. That's my shit. That's my shit. I'm like, my dad like, yo, your son, my nephew just came and brought this for all of us. Why you acting like this over some food? You know, why you acting like this over some food? This is food. You know, this is nothing. And he brought it for us. This ain't something you bought just for you. It's a whole bunch of food, chicken, ribs, all type of stuff. You know, so excuse me. You know, it's food. We family. Come to find out, they get into an argument. Oh, motherfucker, da 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 da. My dad, like, you know what, get the F out. Get out, get out. You know, I done had it with y'all. This has been about 2 weeks of problems, everything. Nothing but problems. You know? So I'm like, man, I didn't want it to come to that. My cousin's like, man, I'm sorry. Please, mom, don't mess it up for us. You know what I'm saying? Don't mess it up for us, please. You know, we don't got no place to stay. I'm like, hey man, it is what it is. Y'all gotta go. Come to find out, they leave or whatever. My cousin's apologizing, like, man, please, can I come back just me? My dad's like, nah. You know, well, maybe you could come back. My cousin, like, man, we already done burnt our bridges. I don't even want to stay there. So cool, right? Man, he ended up leaving his mama at the gas station. I guess he went back and got her, but he ended up driving off like, man, F you, mom. You know, fuck you, mom. You know, I'm leaving that for at the gas station on some nut shit. Like, wow, it's crazy. You know, to wrap up the story, it's like, man, protect your peace. I got a part two. Part two coming. I love y'all. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. But you know, that's protect your peace. If something don't sound right with you, let them go. Family, flesh and blood, whatever, let them go. I see y'all later. Salute.